The favor of God. Isaac was taken care of in a famine. Messed around and found Rehoboth. The favor of God will take care of you, and that is what's taken care of and going to see God's people through everything that is going on now. Now, it's the only thing that is equated with God, because I'm going to explain this system to you. When Satan was cast out of heaven and cast onto the earth, that would be the place. It is a suspension between. There is heaven up top, then there is earth, and then there's hell. Okay? Do y'all hear me? Heaven up top, middle part is earth, third part is hell. That's why in the Revelation it talks about all the different dimensions, the third earth and the third world, all this type stuff. It's those dimensions, those three dimensions: heaven, earth, hell. He was suspended not into hell, but he was suspended into earth. His ultimate place is hell, but he was suspended into earth because the Lord was not, God the Father was not going to allow him to sit in heaven. He could not be seated in heavenly places. So he gave him earth, dominion on earth, which was where mankind was suspended to. When they were kicked out of the gardens, mankind was suspended to earth as well. Are y'all following me? Heaven was the throne, the Garden of Eden. They got the cutting up. First person to get kicked out was Lucifer. He's cutting up. Takes a third of the angels with him. Second people to get kicked out of their heavenly places was Adam and Eve, kicked out to on earth. Earth would be the place where man has to die. Jesus has to come to earth to redeem man back from the state that we found ourselves in. So when Satan was cast to earth, he was given authority within the earth. And within the authority that he was given, he had the ability to strategize. His strategy began to be what is called buy-sell trade system. That was his strategy. Has not ever been God's intention. And I'll tell you why, and I can talk like this because I can back it up. I'll tell you why. God's system was that you had everything, so you didn't have to buy, sell, and trade. Because it all belonged to you. God's system, his people suffice. It takes care of ourselves. See, in God's system, you don't see your brother struggling and just walk on by. You can't do that. Because in God's system, it's help. And the first thing that they did in the book of Acts, go look and study the book of Acts. What they started doing was they began to give everything that they had and brought it so one another could be taken care of, because they were reverting back to the original way or the original intent of how God had designed things. But in the world, it's mine. I ain't giving them nothing. I worked for it. It's mine. I'm not sharing it with nobody. It's mine. It's mine. When Mammon is your God. Okay. So he comes up with, Satan is cast. He's now the prince of the air. Y'all know that, right? He's the prince of the air. You know that part? Yeah. Okay. He's the prince of the air. That is the reason why coronavirus is coming through the air. He's the prince of the air. Okay. So he's cast on earth. He has to come up with strategies of what he would do. So he comes up because he knows that humanity has lost their state, their original state in the garden. They now have to till the earth. Remember the curse that came to Adam? He says you will have to work at the sweat of your brow. You're going to have to till the earth. Adam did not have to do that. Everything was provided for him. The garden was already in place. He didn't have to plant a garden. The garden was already in place. But now, since you've fallen, you got to plant your own garden. And so that's where the enemy would come in to say, I tell you what, this one is going to plant the garden, and because everybody's in a different state. See, there are some people, in the Garden of Eden, everybody was created equal. I need y'all to hear me this morning. Everybody was created equal. And so everybody watched out and nursed for each other. But on earth, we began to look at each other in categories. And so this one would say, well, I tell you what, that one can't work as fast as what I can work. So then I can till 100 stalks of corn. But this one right here can't only till but 5 or 6 because they don't work as fast as what I work. So this is what I'm going to do then. I'm going to take and I'm going to use my ability of what I can do on them right there. Because see, they can't till but 5, but their family needs 10. So what I'm going to do is I'll sell you the other 5. I'm not going to give them to you. I'll sell them to you. Here comes your buy-sell trade system. I need y'all to follow me. Where you at? Let me know where you at. You following me?
Yeah.
Where the rest of you at? I need to hear you. Where you at?
I got you.
Here comes your buy-sell trade system. And when your buy-sell trade system started, there comes your slavery. Because the only ones that could be slave were the ones that was less fortunate. You can't make a slave out of someone that's fortunate. But you can out of someone that's less fortunate. So now here comes your slavery system. All based off of a buy-sell trade. The enemy came up with this almighty dollar, as they call it. It was not ever God's intention. That is the reason why you cannot let it be the source of your life, because if you serve it, you serving hell. You are serving hell. And there is no way that you will enter into heaven if it's your God. There is no way. I want you to find it in the scripture. Show me how. Argue the point with me. I don't mind. There is no way. You are either going to, based off of what we just read, and we all read it together, you either going to hate the one and despise the other. Now, to despise something means that you are not going to allow it to even become a part of you. That's what despise means. And so you use it, but it don't use you. Despise it. I'm not going to let you govern my life. I'm not going to let you put me in a predicament as to where all I do is focus on you. Because see, the ignorance that's in that, and I watch it with people, is that people fail to realize that at some point in time, you're going to get old. And you're not going to be able to do the things that you used to could do. And so it doesn't carry a longevity. But one thing about favor can carry you to your grave. But money can't. Money can't. Favor can be good to you as to where even the funeral home people got to be good. Until they lower that casket down into that grave. But money can't. Money won't cause them to do you right, but favor will. Y'all better hear me. Money won't cause people to do you right, but favor will, y'all. Because favor comes from God. Money comes from the devil. This season to which we're in, I told you, is prophetic. And where we're going, he tearing down Mammon. He's really right now attempted to bring people into place as to where we see him as Lord. And I want to say, and I hope I don't be one, he gonna move folk. You're gonna see it happen in a mass way. I've told you. I said it a few weeks ago. They think it's Corona that's taking folk out, but it ain't gonna be Corona. This love of Mammon. He's setting the earth up as to where the earth returns back to his glory. The earth returns back to the state as to where it would originally intended to be. See, you got to understand that there is going to be 1,000-year reign of peace on the earth where Jesus is going to walk the earth. Will be dwelling among. the earth. And so the earth has to be conditioned and prepared for that time. And that's what he's doing. He's preparing us for that time. Now, when he walks on this earth in this reign of peace, that means that everything is that was all messed up, tore up from the floor up, it's going to be gone. So he's getting rid of it. He's washing it away. Y'all think I'm playing, don't you?
No, man.
He's washing it away. What I don't want, and I want you to not want it for yourself, I don't want to die in this washing away. I don't. I want myself in order like I'm supposed to be. I'm telling you, if you stingy, if all you think about before you do anything about money, that type of stuff, go on and please work on that. Please work on that. If the first thought come to your mind is about you and what, I got to be in for my family. We go out here and this and that. You got a Mammon issue. And now, I'm not saying common sense, so don't distort what I'm saying. If anybody distort what I'm saying, you really got a Mammon issue. And you just proved it. Because I ain't ever seen the righteous forsaken. I hadn't so far. Nor is seed having to beg bread. Not so far I hadn't. I've watched increase come to trim in the pandemic. I ain't seen the righteous forsaken nor seed beg bread. And for the last several years, all I've had to live off of was what God do for me. And I've watched him send people that I ain't ever laid eyes on. I'm just giving you my testimony because I refuse to let Mammon be my God. I release Mammon too. I don't even have to know you. I saw some people yesterday that had a house fire. And Sharika will tell you because she was on the phone with me. I sent something to them. It don't have to be millions of dollars because I don't have that to give them yet. But you're going to see some seed go. All I need to know is there's a situation that needs some help, and I'm in now. Because you don't ever know where you're going to be in life. You don't know where you're going to be, I'm telling you. And if those of you that you're in a place of you're short concerning your mammon, your money, you better start seeding. You do your tithes and your offerings, and you place some seed in the ground, and don't you do it scared. Because it comes with an abundance of harvest. Your struggle days will leave after a while if you do it like you're supposed to, I'm telling you. Because your seed is going to produce a harvest. You're going to see a harvest to come up, but you're not going to if you don't seed. See, your seed is for your future. So that means if I have seed in the ground, I'm only going to struggle for a little while. Why? Because after a while, I'm finna see a harvest. So see, your seed puts a time limit on your struggle. But if you don't have seed in the ground, you ain't got no time limit. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yes, God.
See, your seed put a time limit on that struggle because, see, after a while, that harvest is coming and it can't stop it. But if you ain't put no seed in the ground, you ain't got no time limit. You can struggle for however long. Why? Because you ain't got nothing to stop it. But when I throw some seed in the ground, they say, hey, look, if I plant an apple and say, for instance, they say it takes 6 weeks for an apple tree to come up. Well, it's 6 weeks, baby. That's all I'm finna have to struggle. Because at the end of 6 weeks, my harvest finna come. Boom, I'm out of this situation. But see, people don't seed, and that's why they struggle continues. It continues. And now let me give you part 2 of that. You better be careful where you seed. Now take your butt up there trying to put some seed in the ground in New York in the winter. You better be careful where you seed.
Gotta sow